recently. It was like ride together, die together.
Ride or
You know,
die.
right. And when the wheels fall off, we'll walk together. I was like, ooh, that's not deep, babe. That's nice. That's nice. But he definitely is a tremendous cheerleader. He believes in me and what we're doing a lot. And that's good having someone like that in your corner, because on the days when you're not feeling like boxing and you're like, look
Yeah.
here, I cannot.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's there to say, no, man, let's push again, let's go.
Can I have it all? Can I have success without the stress and toxic relationships? Here's your chance to get some insight, some advice, some real girl talk, and sometimes real man talk on how to be the boss, whether it's boardroom, bedroom, or when you're trying to find the time to access your bliss. Let's do it. Hey there, Balanced Lady Bosses. This is Stacy, and welcome to another epic of the Balanced Lady Boss Show. So I am very pleased to be welcoming my wealth coach, my friend, and just an all-around boss lady, Keisha Bailey, to the studio with us today. And we are going to be having the conversation that every woman definitely needs to have at some point in their lives, hopefully sooner than later, right? We are going to be talking about wealth and your relationship with wealth. And in particular, I want to hear from this lady boss herself, because clearly she's doing all the things. She is wealth coaching, business building, consulting, CFOing, all the things, CEOing. And she's also a wife and a mom. All these things are full time, right? And so my expectation is that we're going to have a holistic conversation that is going to help us to get to know Keisha Bailey a lot better, and also help with some of the tips and tricks, because we're all about the hacks on this show. Help with some of the tips and tricks that she uses in her own life that every woman can leverage to really create the wealth that they so deserve, so they can balance and boss the boardroom, the bedroom, and their bliss. So, Keisha, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, thanks for having me on. I'm excited for this conversation, or interested in how it will go. So this is good.
Okay, excellent. We're going to start off with the boardroom because that's where all our conversations begin. And ultimately, we want to know how you became a wealth coach. Like, how did that happen? Did you always have a dream of helping other people to become wealthy, to build, the bricks and all the dollars? Like, how did that happen?
I probably go way back. In that I didn't grow up with money. Didn't grow up having money. Grew up with a single mother who believes and still firmly believes in education and the value of education. So I was pushed heavily in school to have a bright, have to study a book, know a book. It's when I actually started working, on my first job working at one of the large banks in Jamaica, that I met my mentor, and he opened my eyes to finance and also the wealth behind finance and a lifestyle of wealth. I didn't know what that was like because never grew up with nobody who have money to actually see that
Mhm.
lifestyle. So once I was exposed to that, that's really when I said, wait, this is wealth. This is what money look like. Okay, let me explore what that means. How do you build it? And then I
Mhm.
learned how to do that. But I needed more education because there are specific
Mhm.
traits, a specific skill set you need. So I trained for that. And while I trained, I climbed the corporate ladder, doing the things. I went to, I'd say, one of the top business schools in Canada to learn finance there. And so it kind of set you up on a certain trajectory about where your career would go. So as I
Mhm.
climbed the corporate ladder, more and more as you climb and you get success, there wasn't as much fulfillment because I was moving more and more up to a certain echelon of society, um, that I couldn't see anybody that looked like me there. And it was very weird to see that, because whenever we'd go to meetings or we have client engagements, the other black person would have been the waiter, the server, or the person taking your
Mm,
coat. So
yes.
more and more it kind of rests on me that, wait, all right, so how do I see more of my people, more of my community in these spaces with me, sitting at the table with me? And it just kind of hit me like a light bulb, like I have to do it. I have to help. I have to teach
Mm,
persons how to get there, because if I don't, we're not going to get there. So that's when I
mm,
stepped away from corporate and decided, all right, time to look at doing your own business where you're actually educating persons around building wealth. No, at the same time, around that time was when also my son was born. I think that triggered a lot for me, in that no, yeah, your priorities shifted. I was the corporate go getter, climbing the ladder, working through the nuances of corporate life. And when I became a mother, it was this time for reassessment of,
mhm,
mm, am I truly fulfilled? What do I want to spend my time doing? And so I started thinking about what chapter 2 of life could possibly look like. That's why I call it chapter 2. The chapter 2 now is like, Keisha as a mom, what does that look
mhm,
like? And I wanted to be more
mhm,
present for my son, because my mom was always busy working to make money to send Uga to school. And I didn't want to repeat that cycle of, all right, may I work,
mhm,
I have money to send him to school. I want to be present with him, as well as I knew a few ways that wouldn't require me to kill off myself working and hustling and grinding as much. But I guess being a mom, plus seeing more and more, or feeling a need that I need to teach people, I need to have more impact, those two occurred at the same time. And I said, all right, let's make the leap. I think the final straw for me was one day when I was in a meeting during the pandemic, and it was back to back meetings. And I'm there in the meeting, and my breast just started leaking. I said, wait, why like just leak? I was
yeah,
breastfeeding at the time. And I realized, oh no, I'm gonna get to feed my son because my breast leaking because
right,
they're full. And I was like,
right.
did he eat today? And I'm like, that's the level of overwork that was happening. I can
Wow,
remember if I stopped to feed my poor little
wow.
baby. So that, was like the last straw.
Mm,
All right, let's go. Let's figure this out. And then I had the support of my husband, Jermaine, my goody husband, that he said at the time, let's figure out a way to do this. So
mhm,
we've had businesses before, and he was the one running the business at that time. I was always a corporate person. He's more on the entrepreneurial side. He said, all right, let's push, let's create something. I didn't really believe in it. So I was like, I'm not really sure. Yeah. But he's been there behind me as a constant support and motivation, and saying, let's do this, let's go. And that's now the genesis of Profit Jumpstarter. And what we do today with Profit Jumpstarter is financial education, a lot of that through courses, workshops, events. And we also have a consulting arm where we work with persons on implementation of the knowledge. How
mm,
do I build wealth for me? I have the little money over here, so how do I put it together? I tell people all the time that you may have the ingredients. You're doing something and you have all the ingredients, but I come with a recipe, the formula of how do we combine these ingredients to create a dish of wealth
mhm.
or a dish of financial freedom. So I come in with that strategy, and that's the work that we do.
Okay, actually, thank you for that, by the way. Great intro and great mission. I will say that when I think about persons who have been on the show talking about their entrepreneurial journey, a lot of it has been where they saw a need in the market that they desired either for themselves or for just people like them. And and that is what lit the initial idea fire, so to speak. Similarly with the show with Balanced Lady Boss, it dawned because of my background and me wanting to be able to create a space to have real conversations with women, not something that is made up show, but real conversations about the whole woman. And I didn't see one. And I wished I had one to listen to, so I just created the show. What I also appreciated about what you said was the way that you described what your company does. Is you said very clearly that we do financial education, and we do that through, and you talked about the courses, the events, and then you talked about the consulting side that supports the implementation of what you've learned. So I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
now go back into Epic Transformation and see how I can look at my statement
That's it. I said, all right, oh, there. Yeah.
and see, okay, can I clean this up and make it any simpler? But no, that's
No,
great. Thank you so
and
much.
the simplification comes over time because this is the nerd part of me coming out where I read a lot. I enjoy
Yeah.
reading. That is my thing. I
Yeah.
not let me jump up and wind up myself occasionally, but where I get joy, peace, fulfillment is reading. I love reading,
Okay.
and it's as I've embarked on business, there are a couple of things, right? There was first, I didn't remember I told you I didn't believe in what I was doing at first. It was all right, I know I can do it, but will it work? I mean, I really know. So I
Right.
leaned heavily on the coaches, and maybe I need somebody to give me the confidence to do it. I need somebody to push me because I didn't believe in myself. And German
Yes.
always, my husband always said that to me. You're not believing. You have to
Oh,
believe because when
oh,
you
that's good.
believe, everything kind of unlocks. I think I'm at the point now of belief. I must be there. Even if I'm not, I can't admit that to him. But I feel I am there. So what it pushes me to do more is more studying about the craft of business. And it's
Mm,
in reading that I was able to compartmentalize it that way. That really when you're
mm,
in the consulting or coaching or the training world, your business really is twofold. It's an
yes.
education piece, a training piece, and always the education is generic. It's a general education to the
Right.
masses around a framework of theory. But
Yes.
then once people learn, the next question always is,
How
so
do I do
when you
this?
for do right,
Yeah.
how do I take that knowledge and apply it to my life? Which is where the consulting comes in,
Mm,
the work there. And then there's a
that's
next
great.
level after that of I want to be around people who are on the journey with me.
Mm-hmm.
That's the mastermind level. So it kind of breaks. I'm
Mm,
like, that's a good way of looking at it. But that's really when I see it. Study the craft of what I'm doing and get more into it. Hmm.
okay. No, that's very good. That's very
Hmm.
good. All right. So, speaking of education, you recently launched your book.
Get serious
And
about, well,
yeah, and
look a lot of it. Well, it's up there. Somebody commented and they say, you look like a boss on this. I'm like, interestingly, I'm going to be on a podcast today about being a lady boss.
yeah. And
Yes.
and can I just tell you that this is a boss book. This is not like, you know how you get some workbooks and them like don't really
They
have the
call them light,
content?
they call them, yeah, light content books. This is
Light
not.
content.
It
Yeah,
is,
no, this is
no,
not
it
light. This
is
is no, yeah, this is
pages of
yes,
information, 200 pages
yes.
of
What
information.
the section that determine your net worth, can I tell you? I think that is so important for every woman to do. I did that exercise, as you know, when we were going through our coaching process. And when I finished doing my net worth versus my partner's net worth, I mean, when we did a combined net worth, the money looked good. But then when I
Right.
break out just myself now, it was like, oh my God, I'm pulling him down. What is going on? I felt so much different type of emotion, so much shame, so much guilt, just a whole host of negative energy started to flow through me, through the thoughts that were coming up. And I had to talk myself back to my current reality of just what I'm creating and how I even attracted this man into my life based on the some of the financial goals that I have for myself as well. But what
Yeah.
it brought me present to was just women and their relationship with money. That's what it brought me present to. And by the time this airs, we'll actually be in Love Month. And I just thought I had to learn to love money. I had to get into a space where money was not the root of all evil and not something to be ashamed of wanting or desiring or being excited about. Because for so many years of my life, decades, I would say I spent most of my time remembering grandma words and thinking about all the different things. And now I'm very clear that I deserve all the wealth that I can handle. And the work that has to be done is really a lot of mental work, a lot of education, and a
Yep.
lot of hard work, even forgiving myself for what I may have been experiencing in the past concerning wealth building and monetizing my life. So I wanted to talk about how women can improve their relationship with money. What do we need
Yeah.
to be doing? And how maybe we
So
even were different from men, because I don't know, maybe men do things differently than we do.
So research is there to show that women are actually better stewards of money than men are. That is the truth. That's what the research shows. But in real life, you may feel, oh, well, the man is the man of the house, the breadwinner. So I just can't humble myself and make him doing things and him squeeze off a thing, give me when him can give me. And it's a really bad situation because what happens a lot of times, because women view the man as head of the household, I'm not going to concern myself with the money. That's his thing. Him with the money, him control how it's spent. I'm just here to do the groceries or do the whichever. But what happens if the man passes or you
Mm-hmm.
go through a divorce or anything like that? You are not equipped financially to know what's happening. And I saw that a lot in my prior world in corporate life where we would have clients and the man dies. The wife comes, she don't know what clock a strike from what a strike.
Mm.
No idea what's happening. In some cases, it's good that there's actually a large inheritance left back. But sometimes I want bag of bills left back. And for the
Wow.
women, they may say, but I never know when we left this lifestyle. I'm not sure. So I would say the
Mm-hmm.
first thing for women is to acknowledge, firstly, that you have the potential. Coming back to the belief that
Mm-hmm.
I have the potential and the capacity to really understand what's happening. So just be curious, start there. What's going on here? How we pay for this? How we get this? That through that curiosity, every time you start putting things together. One of the main things is I always tell people if you don't know your money, you can't grow your money. So you don't necessarily need to be an expert like myself and you can go through whichever financials of this and analyze and chart. We don't need to do that, but we need to have a basic understanding of money and know
Mm-hmm.
that whatever I am doing, I need to have my money growing faster than inflation. If you don't even understand that little part, you will be wealthy. Because that is the number one secret. Whatever your money I do, the return of it beat inflation. Once you do that, you will be wealthy. Nothing else no need to happen. Now,
Okay.
that's it. It's quite simple. But the hard part is the belief that I can be wealthy. Me telling you the formula, I'm give the answer right there, but you may say, well, I didn't know if wealth is for me. Just I'm not really sure. I grew up poor. I don't know what may happen. Yeah, this is it. I find a good man or a good woman, and I did this. Life is great. Life is great.
Right.
I'm stopping here. But I'm challenging persons on this and any platform I get to always say the same thing that wealth is possible for you, for
Mm-hmm.
me, for anybody. Wealth is possible. It's very easy to be wealthy, but it starts first with that believing and the
Mm-hmm.
knowing of what's going on. Know what clock a strike with your money. Do you have or you don't have? Nothing wrong if you don't have. Nothing wrong if you have. But until you acknowledge where you are, you cannot begin to work on going to where you want to be financially.
Hey, hey, we are pausing just for a moment to give a big shout out to our sponsors, Epic intention cards. And for today's show, we're pulling a card from our deck. We have intentions and affirmations, as well as a beautiful image on each of our cards in the deck. And today's intention is I believe in myself. I believe in myself. And that's so perfect for the conversation that we are having with the amazing wealth coach, Keisha Bailey. Let's see what the affirmation says. I consistently remind myself that I have everything I need to create the life that I want. Isn't that beautiful? That is our intention for this episode. And you can take it with you as you go into your week. I believe in myself. I remind myself that I have everything I need to create the life that I want. Now, of course, these Epic Intention cards are available. You can click the link in the notes so you can get access to your cards, or you can just simply go to www.epicintentioncards.com and enjoy setting wonderful intentions and affirmations for yourself every single day. Heading back now to our chat with Keisha Bailey. Yeah. You have to know your money to grow your money. I've heard you say that a few times before. And I think when I look back at being, even before I was a single mother, I think when I was growing up, I really didn't learn about money from my parents. I didn't have a concept of money. And by the time I hit university, I signed up for credit cards because they were on the campuses offering the kids all get a credit card. It's so easy. Get a free mug or a free Yeti if you sign up for this today. And so before I knew anything about money, I was in debt. I didn't understand it. And then I realized that there was this thing called credit because, in the US, we're all about the credit score, right? And it just stockpiled like that. And so by the time I started to get a sense of it, it came with shame because I realized that I was not being a good steward. So I didn't view the getting the knowledge as a way to freedom or as a way to financial independence. I viewed the knowledge as more a way to identify what I did wrong, how wrong I was with my money. And it just essentially continued to spiral from there. And because I had that mindset somewhere in the back, no matter how much I would have earned over a period, I just kept falling back into the same trap over and over again. And so it took me quite a bit of mindset work to actually shift out of looking at my money. That was the first step, just opening bills and not avoiding the phone calls from the bill collectors. And that took process, it took mindset work, it took a lot of that. And I feel that many women, whether it is that they were born into wealth or not, struggle with that kind of shame about money. So
the shame, I would say, is personal because nobody really knows your situation but you. So it's a personal shame. And I think it ties into the fact that us as women, we have very high standards for ourselves.
yes,
Definitely me being a type A person, my standards are way out of this world and they're self-imposed. So shame and those things I've found, they're personal. Me feel a way about myself and my team.
Yeah.
And because I feel that way internally, sometimes I take it out externally. Somebody say the slightest little thing about your money, after them. And you say, oh, you don't know about this, or you overcompensate. So you make sure you have to show off certain things and you're on the gram living a certain way to overcompensate for the shame. But I think if we just kind of humble ourselves, spend some time, this is your world of reflect on really what you want for yourself.
Yeah.
And then slowly, you can slowly and quietly take action. Nobody doesn't even know where you do their money. It's a very personal thing.
Yeah.
Right? So looking past the shame and acknowledging that, hey, I can make this right. I can do better. Let me just focus on doing better rather than feeling bad.
Yes.
It really will make a difference financially.
No, that's good. That's good. That's good advice, Keisha. Now, talking about personal stuff, bedroom is the next area that we typically talk about on the show. And that is where we talk about all things intimate to you. So your husband, your kids, I want to start talking about Jermaine, boss. So, ladies, I have
Boss
had the
husband.
pleasure of meeting Keisha's husband, and he is a marketing genius, first and foremost, and just the sweetest guy, right? Sweetest guy. And your number one cheerleader.
Yeah, I couldn't have some more. Sometimes I could be like, why? You really believe in this thing, right? He really is. He said something to me today. He's like, why? I recently he was, it's me and you. It was like ride together, die together.
Ride or
When
die.
right, and when the wheels fall off, we'll walk together. I was like, ooh, that's not deep, babe. That's nice. That's nice. But he definitely is a tremendous cheerleader. He believes in me and what we're doing a lot. And that's good having someone like that in your corner, because on the days when you're not feeling like boxing and you're like, look
Yeah.
here, I
Yeah.
cannot, I can't bother.
Yeah.
He's there to say, no, man, let's push again, let's go. Yeah.
So, how did you meet Jermaine? Was he a part of just the unfolding of your life in the early days or
We
later
met
on?
in high school
Oh,
from 1999. Long
wow.
time. Long time.
Wow.
We met in high school a long, long, long year. Whoa. Yeah. Let me not age myself. Only yesterday, back in the 90s. Yeah, we met from there. We were high school girlfriend, boyfriend. There were a lot of ups and downs and round towns in between it, but we made it through and got married. Then still here, still here.
Oh, that's so nice. I'm loving that. That's really
Hmm.
beautiful. And you have a
Long time.
son. You have one son. That's
One
like
child, Jack, Jack.
one
Yeah.
child. And how do you find navigating momming and wifing and CEOing and traveling, because you do quite a bit of travel? You're building this empire of a business. Like, how are you navigating all of that with your little Jack?
He's our reason, because if you notice in the book, in the first part, I call him out in there as well.
Yeah.
My son Jack is my endless source of inspiration. My husband Jermaine has been my pillar of strength. This is all for him. As I said, it was when he was just born and the whole breastfeeding fiasco that really I said this is for him. And so as we started Profit Drum Starter, one of the things I wanted to make sure was that the business was built in such a way that it created flexibility and space to be with Jack. Growing
Mhm.
up a little boy in these days is challenging.
Yeah.
Jack that comes with its own series of challenges in and of itself, and we've been navigating every challenge. But having flexibility and space to maneuver is has been good. Like no, we're doing school in Jamaica for him
Even though
because he
you're in
needs that.
Canada, you're in Canada,
Right. I mean,
right?
yeah. So because he needs that right now, so we do that, and well, you need flexibility to be able to do that. So it's been good. We are present, which is the main part I'm happy about. It's not like I only see him on a Thursday for 1 hour because I'm always in meeting somewhere locked away. We actually spend way more time together. We can do pool days, we can to the beach, do whichever together. It's our little threesome, as we call ourselves. But I found that having the business enabled that part of my life to open up more. So that's
Mm,
been good. Balance comes also through support. So yes, in the early days of I had a lot I still do a lot of mom guilt. I need to be there, I need to this, I can't miss that. I have to sit down with you, I have to read to you, I have to hold you, and I have to cut your fingernail, I have to wipe your bottom, I have to... So always as I kind of go through that, it's what really matters. And for being with Jack is him just want you there. Him not gonna remember if he did buy my Kisco or bag juice or whichever. He probably will remember the Kisco. I love Kiscos. But the main thing is the presence, the being
mm,
there for the moment, and we're definitely able to do that. But you still need support. I can't do everything. So
right.
being able to have support through Germain and also through having a nanny and so forth makes the time that you're with your child much better. A lot of moms try and be there and try and be all things.
Yeah.
I can't be all things. Me can't. Something never fall. That's how balance come. Things balance because something not as high as it need to be,
Yes,
or it should be,
absolutely.
or it could be. With balancing, having some support on there keep you grounded, right? I found it
Mm.
at times though we don't have no support. It rough. It rough
Yeah.
that, and that's really when the guilt comes in more because like, all right, no support not there, so me have to do it, but me tired. But I shouldn't be tired. Me burn out, but me shouldn't be burn out. So it kind of it's just a lot. So
Mm.
support makes it all come together much better.
Right. Oh,
Hmm.
that's good. No, that's really good and very good advice also. When you talk about just being present, I know that's one of the things I struggle with my kids, especially when they were younger. I was constantly working. And so what worked for me to be present was I had to be out of the house or away from my machine. So we did a lot of things together, like theme parks and all these other things were a
Yeah,
part of our life so that I could actively be present. Otherwise, I would be trying to juggle doing some work and having them there.
right.
Okay, it's really good. All right, now the final area that we talk about is bliss. And you talked about going to the pool and going to the beach, talked about reading. What would you say is the ultimate bliss experience for you? What is self care for Keisha? What does that look
I told you I'm a nerd. I love reading. Put me beside, give me a good book, like my workbook, give me one of that
like?
with some coffee and my what is it, the humidifier, just
Yes.
scented oil. I'm good. Um, I found that as life progresses, I need less and less. I don't
Mm,
necessarily need to carry on a shopping spree. I don't really need to do that. Spending quality time with people you care about, that's where
mm,
it's at for me now. And it could be as simple as a pool day, a beach day, just chilling, creating
mm,
memories. That's the jam these days. Memories and having those. Because one thing we know, we can be here today, gone tomorrow. And really, it's those memories that people are going to hold on to.
awesome.
Being
Wow.
present, creating memories, that's where it is, dear.
Now, as we wrap up our show for today, I usually ask for one tip or quote or statement or parable that you use to support yourself through challenging moments. Do you have anything like that that you could share with our community?
What's coming to mind now, I think that's appropriate given our discussion is I didn't come this far to only come this far,
Mm. Mm.
right?
Yeah, that's good. That's
Yeah,
good.
life rough. It's rough, and when you're balancing and you're doing all these things, sometimes you really do feel like throwing in the towel. Me can't bother. Me done. So I always like today's a pick me up day. It's I didn't come this far to only come this far.
Yeah.
I have to find it, to believe, and I have to keep going.
Excellent. That's a perfect note to end on. Thank you so much for joining the show today, Keisha. We're going to have you back on to do probably a money deep dive where we're actively talking about strategies that we're going to be implemented. But this was really great. Thank you for joining the Balanced Lady Boss community because you know part of the community. And certainly thank you for spending time with us on our show today.
You are most welcome.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us for another epic of the Balanced Lady Boss Show. It really means a lot to know that you have chosen to join our community and to listen in to all the insights and gems that are dropped by my guests, or if it's just me on our episodes. And of course, to show our appreciation, we want to make sure that we're providing you with value added resources. And you can check those out on our landing page, balancedladyboss.com. Now, for those of you who want to make sure that you are staying up to date with all the latest, you want to hit that subscribe button. And there's more. You want to check out our YouTube page. Just look for Stacey Hines on YouTube, and you'll be able to see the videos of the Balanced Lady Boss Show epics. That's right. All our guests, well, most of them, have chosen to allow us to video record these epics. So you can check those out on our YouTube page, along with other useful insights about living an intentionally balanced life. Stay tuned, guys. There's more goodness to come from the Balanced Lady Boss Show. Take care.